Hi, I'm Diane Dayton, backstage at Berks, catching up with artists scheduled at the 34th annual Berks Jazz Fest. Find out about their shows and what's going on in their lives. And if you like this cast, please share it. Thanks for joining me. I'm with Mike Eben right now, and Mike, you are a saxophonist and a retired music educator, right?
That is, yes.
And you have been involved with Berks Jazz Fest, Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, for a long time. I think we were discussing like the early, 1990s or something?
Somewhere in there, early to mid 1990s. Nobody remembers dates, but
It all
it's what.
blends. I get it. What I love that you're a part of, that is such an important part of this festival, is the educational arm. And that happens on that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which happens to be April 7, 8, and 9 this year. And we're going to tell everybody a little bit about this because this really makes a difference in the community and with music, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This is our next audience, our young people coming up. Part of the reason for Get Jazzed is not only to get these kids playing jazz and enjoying it, but we realize most of them are not going to become professional musicians. But if they become part of our audience, that's really what we're looking for, just to, uh, you know, give them the joy of jazz.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives growth in many different ways, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So I think this is exciting. So to understand what's going on, that's what we're going to talk about. That Monday, it's going to be 6 p.m. and this is at the DoubleTree by Hilton in Reading in the small ballroom. We're doing the RMF project at Penske Jazz Jam. Tell me about that one.
Well, that's a jam session that we've been doing for years. It started with a project that I set up with Reading Musical Foundation a number of years ago. We used to do a jam session at Zezwitz Music. It has since morphed. I take that jam session to the schools now. Any school in Berks County that wants me to come to their school, and I'll bring in a jazz trio and we'll play for the kids and with the kids and get them playing jazz so that we have it's kind of a performance and a clinic all in one. So we've been doing that. We've been to two schools this past year, and we're really looking forward to morphing this into what's coming up with the big jam during the Jazz Fest.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And we can attend that, right? I mean, you can just stop
Yeah,
in.
it's absolutely free. Just
Wow.
come by and watch. You can watch. You bring your horn if you want to. We encourage students to come and perform. But if you're a little bit on the shy side, it's okay if you just come out and listen as well.
Hey, but who knows? Once you're listening, you might get inspired and want to be a part of
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
It's hard not to be inspired with the people we have on stage.
Yeah. And
We're gonna-
you have some great clinicians with you. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, no Jazz Fest is complete without Gerald Veasley himself. He's pretty much become the face of the Berks Jazz Fest, and Gerald's always a blast. He's great with students, and just I call him the Mr. Rogers of jazz education. He's just so calm and personable. So he'll be there on stage with us. We have another terrific musician. His name is Albert Rivera. He's coming from the Bronx in New York City,
Yeah.
and he's the operations director of the Litchfield Jazz Festival.
Hmm.
So he'll be on stage. We're also going to have the great saxophonist Derek Marienthal is going to be there. We're going to have two brothers, Curtis and Luquez. Um, I'm sorry, Zakai and Luquez Curtis will be there. They're also from the Litchfield camp. They and Albert were all students of the Litchfield camp, and now they teach there as well. Zakai is a recent Grammy winner, so we're really excited to have him on board. We have another Litchfield teacher, a Dave Ballou trumpet player. Curtis McCain, who's a fixture on percussion, will be there with us. We have some local artists as well. Benny Sims, Cliff Starkey, and Larry Marshall are going to be on hand to help us as well. It's going to be a blast.
It's a great cast. It really is. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, what goes on that Tuesday and Wednesday? Get Jazz. Tell me about that.
That's our what we call our Scholastic event, and that is a 2-day event that we're going to have this year. We're having 16 schools come in over 2 days, so 8 schools per day. Each school is going to be on stage in the grand ballroom for 1 hour. That's going to include a 15 to 20-minute performance, during which time we'll have two of our clinicians adjudicating them, just giving them comments and things to help them improve their playing. After the performance, then those two clinicians will also go up on stage with the band and work with them for another 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So it's a great way to really get hands-on time and really, get into the craft of making this music. I think it's going to be really enjoyable.
It's immersive, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
And then besides that, we also have clinics. We have a listening clinic. We have a jam session. And we also have a Latin jazz session. The Curtis brothers are great with Latin jazz, Albert
Mm.
Rivera as well. So they're all going to be on hand. And these clinics are going to happen throughout the day. So students will not only get their performance for that hour, but they'll also can stay throughout the day and take advantage of all these other clinics and things that are going on.
That sounds wonderful. And that's also open to the public to attend. Is that correct?
So it is, yes. Anybody could come in and enjoy the day.
All right.
Wander into the grand ballroom to see the bands perform, come into the clinics to see what we're doing in those places. We also have some master classes. So, having all the instruments, we'll have all our brass players together, our woodwind players, our rhythm section players will all be in one room together with a clinician or two to work on some things as well.
Wow. So
Exciting day.
what's the time frame again on those days so we know about dropping in?
The first band will start at 8:30 a.m. and then we should wrap things up about 6 p.m.
Okay.
We'll have 4 bands in the morning. We'll
Mhm.
have some afternoon clinics and sessions and master classes, and then 4 bands in the afternoon.
Okay. And then this is once again down at the DoubleTree by Hilton, downtown
Yes,
Reading.
it'll
Okay.
all take place in the DoubleTree, yes.
And for those that don't know the background on some of this, tell us a little bit about Doc Mulligan and all of that.
Well, Doc Mulligan is the inspiration for all of our education. Doc was a radiologist at the Reading Hospital for, I believe, 40 years,
Hmm.
but he was better known as a musician. He was a great trombone player. He played piano, and he also wrote and arranged tons of music. And chances are, if you played in any of the big bands in Reading throughout the years, even through today, you're going to find some Doc Mulligan arrangements in your big band. I play in a group called The Last Big Band, and we have lots of Doc's arrangements in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
And
very
well,
cool.
that Doc was really big on education too. He wanted to talk to kids about playing music, and he loved to talk to them about it. He had a good friend named Al Seifarth, and Al was a history teacher at Conrad Weiser and a flute player for the Reading Pops. And both of them they'd sit and talk for hours about playing jazz and the wonders of the music. So yeah, they're really the inspiration for our whole Get Jazz program.
Yeah, well, I think this is so key to the Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. I don't know that many festivals that get into this, but this is certainly a key element of this festival.
Yeah, our good friends down at the True Blue Jazz Fest in Rehoboth Beach, they do some educational things down there. It's
Oh,
always good to
good,
see. Yeah.
good, good. That's excellent. What else do we need to know that we might not have covered before we wrap up? Mike, is there anything you want us to know?
Well, the reason we do all this is really to build our next audience.
Mm-hmm.
This is America's music. It's jazz. It originated here in this country. It's creative music. Anybody can enjoy it. The beauty of this music is that you can get together with somebody who doesn't even necessarily speak your language and play music together automatically. Just if you know the language of jazz, you can play. And we understand that not all of our students are going to become professional musicians, but they are going to be listeners and consumers of music. And if they help us to support jazz and become our future, listeners and audience for that music, so much the better.
Yeah. And you know what? If you don't really know much about jazz, this is a great way to get introduced to it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Even sitting in on a clinic or something like that, or going to a jam session, it's always about the learning. And we have some great teachers on board to help do that.
absolutely. So if you want to find out more, all you have to do is go to berksjazzfest.com and check it out, and then come see us that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the
You can
festival.
also go to getjazzedberks.com, and we have a
Okay,
website there as well.
excellent. Thank you so much for taking time today, Mike. And I look
Oh,
forward
thank you.
to stopping by with this too. I really do.
Awesome. Hope to see you there.
Yes.
10 exciting days of concerts, jams, and more. Tickets are on sale now. For the latest artist, venue, and scheduling info, and for tickets, visit berksjazzfest.com.